Yesterday was a bit of a mouthful, and today we're going to break it down. Welcome to Walking Through the Word, and we are in John chapter 12. And yesterday I kind of gave the theological implications of John 12 and some of the things that we're talking, but we want to break down a couple of the last ones that we talked about. And when we talked about the implication that God and Jesus are of one accord, and if, however you respond to Jesus is how you respond to the Father. That's a pretty significant statement, and I want to break that down. So in John chapter 12, verse 44, Jesus says, "Whoever believes in me does not believe in me only, but in the one who sent me. And the one who looks at me is seeing the one who sent me. I have come into the world as a light, so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness." There's a few things here. One, we have a hard time understanding. You know, my wife and I are very compatible, and we have a lot of similar thoughts and ideas and feelings on issues, but we're not 100%, I know this is shocking, eye to eye on everything. We don't always agree on how to proceed with things. And so it can be, we have our moments of intense spiritual discussion. Jesus and the Father never have those. They are always in 100% agreement, perfect union. And this is why Jesus makes that statement of not only will you believe in me, but you believe in him. You can't separate the two anymore. No longer could you do that. There was a point in the Old Testament when you could just pray to Yahweh. Now Jesus has to be included in the conversation when you have God, especially when it comes to salvation. God points to Jesus very simply. That is what the Father does. He points towards Jesus and says, if you want to be with me, you must believe in him. He is the one who saves. So this is a pretty significant statement that Jesus is making. In other words, you see me, Jesus says, you see God. And that's what he's going to say. He says to Thomas at one point, and he's going to say that soon enough. We have to understand that Jesus and God are different persons, but they are one essence. They are always in accord and they are always in agreement. And that's a significant statement. There is nothing that Jesus does that does not meet the approval of God, the Father. And everything that Jesus does is with the approval and for the approval of God the Father. That is the beauty of their relationship and the thing that we should be striving for as followers of Christ. When we're dealing with brothers and sisters in Christ, we should be of one accord as well. It's difficult because of sin, but we can certainly strive towards that goal. Another thing that he says is, I have come into the world as a light so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness. Why is this such a significant statement? Because the truth is a lot of people will make the claim that, if you're saved, then then you're saved. You don't really have to follow God. You don't have to do these things. You can just continue to live your life and you're saved. And while that is in theory true, in reality, that is not the case. You see, once you have glimpsed Jesus, once you have recognized who Jesus is and placed your faith in it, I like what the ESV translation is, I have come into the light of this world so that whoever believes in me may not. See, we cannot remain in darkness. We desire no longer to remain in darkness. We look at what darkness offers, and we look at what Jesus offers, and we recognize we want to be in the light. This is what Jesus is saying. Once you have tasted and seen that the Lord is good, you recognize that this is the only thing that you want. This is the only thing that you desire. Everything else leaves a less than taste in our mouth. Walking around in dark, if you've ever walked around in the dark and you've stubbed your toe and you ran into things, what do you wish for? Light. There's nothing that you wish for stronger than light. When we've had power outages in our house, what's the first thing that we look for? Light. You don't realize how dark things are until there is the absence of any light. But Jesus shined the brightest light. And when we recognize the value of that light, we don't want anything else. We no longer want to live a life in the dark. And this is the thing about being a follower of Christ. You find yourself compelled to follow Christ. If your experience with Jesus is genuine, then you recognize that he is really the only thing that you desire. This is a huge statement. This kind of flies in the face of the way people believe when you say, you're saved, so now you can go on with your living. Then I frankly would question the genuineness of your salvation. I can't actually question whether you're saved, but I would question your motives. I would question whether you actually understood the implications of it. Jesus calls us to recognize the cost of following him, to count the cost and recognize it. And he promises that if we do count the cost, we will find the cost very much worth it. We will find the quote-unquote sacrifice well worth it. It's no sacrifice at all when you taste the sweetness of Jesus Christ.